So as you understand, TB is one of the oldest diseases that we have in across the world. Uh, if you look at the literature, it talks about 9,000 years back. You have uh, the first TB case was detected. Now imagine a disease which is such old, and then we are trying to attempt to eradicate the whole thing by 2025. I think it's a very ambitious mission from the government of India, but it is not that it cannot be achieved. It can be achieved. While you see the number of incidents that we still have, 172 incidents per lakh population, that is a huge number. And if you have to cater to them and then eradicate the TB, the biggest responsibility lies on the diagnostic sides. So if the diagnosis is proper, accurate, then I think there will be a proper treatment that can be rendered to the patients. So in that context, what I would look forward is if government can accommodate more and more players into the TB eradication program, more and more players to who can actually who can actually help the government to in detecting the disease very accurately, and then the multi-drug resistance, and then moving on to the pre-XTR. So I think if there is this parallel approach in the diagnosis, where a point of care detection of the disease would easily move towards which easily help the clinicians to prescribe the right drug. So I think if that is happening, then I think the mission can be accomplished very fast. And this is a very, very, very ambitious plan of eradicating the TB by 2025, but I think it can be achieved. The kind of infrastructure that the government is putting together, the kind of programs that has been rolled out, I think it is possible with an accommodation of more and more players who can actually supply the kits or who can help in detecting the TB as quickly as possible. So precision diagnosis plays a very important role. A precision diagnosis of TB and precision diagnosis of the multi-drug resistance. If these can be done together at a very short span, and then if they are point of care kind of a thing, then I think your primary healthcare centers, secondary healthcare centers, if they are equipped with some of these enablers, then I think the detection would be very fast. And then if the detection is very fast, then I think the treatment can be started immediately. So with that, I think we will be very close to achieving the mission of eradicating the TB by 2025. Oh, diagnostic industry is definitely on a cusp of explosion. After the COVID, this has got whatever the importance that has supposed to be coming has come after the COVID. And you have seen, we were actually doing 2 lakh tests per day for the COVID. And that has actually changed the complete paradigm shift, that has brought in a paradigm shift in the way the diagnosis is looked at. Now, coming to the changes or the trends that you're going to see, I think the molecular diagnostics is definitely going to be one of the forerunner, because when you do a molecular diagnosis, you're actually doing a very precise kind of a detection. So you're going to bring in accuracy, you're going to bring in speed, you're going to bring in the precision. So all these things clubbed together is what the molecular diagnostics is going to give, and that's definitely going to be the future. And then the second one is, which is just come up off late, is the predictive or the precision diagnosis that we're talking about. Where the genomic testing or the genetic sequencing has become one of the underlying tools to detect any mutation in the body or detect any kind of aberration in the genes, which actually express in the form of diabetes or hypertension or cancers or neurogenetic disorders. So the underlying thing for all these things is genetics, the mutations in the genome. So that is again going to be one of the leading. So I will not be surprised if the genetic testing would be a mandatory thing that the doctor would ask when you as a patient go to him. He would say, hey, do you have the genetic profile of yours, so that it helps me to diagnose properly and give you the right treatment. So pharmacogenomics is something that's going to be the future. So overall, molecular diagnostics, not just in the infectious diseases, non-infectious diseases, on any of the lifestyle diseases, that's going to be one of the key driver. The other one would be on the genomic side of the story. So genomic testing is something that's going to be the future. So this is what I would read. Apart from, there are a lot of things that are going to come in, where you have the AI, ML, IoT based things, but then that would be outside the lab. But When it comes to the lab, inside the lab, using the patient samples, this is something that I would see that would be the going forward trend.